GVL Narasimha and Sanjay Jha representing the BJP and the Congress party. Yatin Oza of the BJP is a senior advocate. He's joining us from Ahmedabad. Areman Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court from Delhi. Joginder Singh, former director of the CBI. Vikas Singh, former additional solicitor general, is the advocate for Ranjit Sinha, the embattled CBI director, and our political editor Navika Kumar is with me in the studio. You know, Navika, what is really infuriating here is that both the national political parties seem to be not doing anything about this. I mean, the whole country is seeing the spectacle of Ranjit Sinha and what he's done and Diarygate, everything. Why are both the BJP and the Congress party looking so helpless, so unsure, so wishy-washy on this whole episode?
Well, simply because last time when CBI director and his officials actually went and met with the minister to decide the fate of an affidavit, the last law minister Ashwini Kumar lost his job.
Yep.
So that's why a political party is not getting too close to the CBI, the BJP keeping a hands-off approach completely, because they feel that if they go too near, the Supreme Court may find fault with them
no, but if you have nothing to hide,
interfering with the agency which is supposed to be autonomous.
But you know, Mr. Narasimha Rao, what stops you from initiating proceedings against Ranjit Sinha? I mean, your government repeatedly, and I'm tired of saying this every night on the Newshour, we have to remind you of what you said when you were in the opposition, Mr. Rao. Repeatedly, you targeted the UPA government over the total proximity to the CBI's alleged partisan approach during their tenure. Why don't you walk the talk? Why don't you take action against Ranjit Sinha?
Arnab, let me...
Why have you not taken an official stance in the matter?
I'm sure.
Why do we have to ask you every night, what are you going to do to save the country from this embarrassment?
I think you should be aware of the legal position. I think let us not pretend that a law does not exist. A certain Supreme Court guidelines...
Which legal position says you should be silent?
CBI does not exist.
Which legal position says you should be silent?
No, the Supreme Court guidelines clearly stipulate that the CBI director has a tenure of 2 years. He cannot be disturbed. He can only be transferred under exceptional circumstances by the
these are not exceptional circumstances.
And 2 other secretaries.
So these are not exceptional circumstances. What are exceptional circumstances
he
then,
cannot be transferred. Come on, I think you should be aware that he has already attained superannuation. He is a retired officer who is in office.
Is that the reason?
Because he is the CBI director.
Is that the reason?
He cannot be transferred. I think
is that the reason?
There is a legal position. There is a legal lacuna. There is
don't hide behind legality
on the government not to interfere in the matter. And the Supreme Court.
Don't force me to reveal something. Don't force me to reveal the fact that there is a senior BJP leader. Sir, don't force me to reveal the facts. Among those who have visited Ranjit Sinha at his residence, and you are forcing me tonight, Mr. Rao. He is a senior BJP leader.
No, I don't know who met you.
And an NDA minister.
And an NDA minister.
No, I am saying legally, the current position is that he cannot
and a son-in-law of one of the legends of your party.
Before 2 years. So let the Supreme Court examine and give new guidelines. I think the matter is before the Supreme Court. It would be inappropriate for the government to immediately initiate something. The plea before the court is to start a SIT proceeding.
Areman Sundaram, at least on okay, Sanjay Jha raises his hand out here because Sanjay Jha also wants to explain tonight why his party has been so quiet on this. I think it's because of the Moin Qureshi angle, perhaps. Is that the reason?
Not really, Arnab. I just want to make one point that, frankly speaking, where Mr. Sinha's case is concerned, let him respond to the Supreme Court, and then this government will have to take a stance one way or the other. But I think the bigger point that we need to debate today is also why is the BJP government procrastinating and prevaricating on implementing the Lokpal Act, because that would guarantee the CBI functional autonomy. That will give the CBI the full operating independence it needs, and that's the reason why we are concerned, because is the BJP apparently got its own internal reasons for delaying the implementation of the Lokpal Act on the technicality of the leader of opposition.
We have not appointed him.
Sanjay Jha, I don't like this game of ping pong table tennis going on the program.
That's not the point.
And by the way, sir, it is rich for you now to want to discuss the Lokpal. please let us restrict ourselves to this particular issue. If you don't want to speak about the issue, if you don't want to talk about why you have not spoken out about Ranjit Sinha in the light of all these revelations, you appoint him in 2012. Your appointee has serious allegations of impropriety. These controversial meetings have been taking place when the UPA has been in power. Were you oblivious of these meetings? Were you blissfully unaware of the fact that the CBI director was meeting scam accused at his residence?
Arnab, you cast aspersions on an independent constitutional authority of the CVC by saying it's not the government. The CVC has a big role to play in the selection of the CBI director.
Is it true that there is a...
come on,
sir, Rajya Sabha member of parliament
I think the bigger issue is that if the CBI director has to explain the numerous visits made to his house, he has to explain that to the Supreme Court, and let him explain that. He's been given 10 days, and after that I think this government will have to take one action or the other, whichever one they opt for. No, I think that's a very valid point you have raised in today's debate.
Sir, Subodh Khan Sahai, Aryaman Sundaram, by the way, dear viewers, if you're watching this today, what you're watching is a great spectacle. You're watching the BJP and the Congress try very hard to explain why they will not talk about a CBI director who seems to have had consultations and detailed meetings with the who's who of scamsters and fixers in this country. And it is a shocking thing that the two national parties here are refusing to take a position on this matter. Aryaman Sundaram, are the political parties as handicapped as they make us believe?
I think it's, I find it very amusing, Arnab, to see that the BJP and Congress actually agreeing in one of your debates, and agreeing fully that both of them feel they should keep their hands off this whole thing and leave it to the Supreme Court to decide. The fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter really is that, look, there are two totally different sides to it. One is the office of the CBI director, and the CBI's functioning itself has come under severe indictment over the last few years. Not once, but on a number of occasions. So much so that the Supreme Court has actually wondered as to what kind of role the CBI is playing, whether it's a caged parrot or not. While trying to ensure autonomy of CBI, the Supreme Court has also tried to see that the director of CBI, his office will not be disturbed, and therefore he will not be subject to political influences and can properly and fully pursue an autonomous course. But what we're dealing with here is a totally different issue. Till now we have heard an indictment of the CBI as functioning as nothing but a government agency, as being an ineffectual investigative body, as not being a fair and impartial body, etc. But I think for the first time we are really finding very serious personal allegations being made against a director of the CBI, which if true and if borne out could have severe implications on the personal integrity of the person. Those are the kind of allegations which are being made. So I don't think we can view it from the same yardstick. And if both these parties are so worried about the whole thing and saying that since Supreme Court is dealing with it, well, we want to keep our hands off it, I don't think it's very difficult to get a clarification from the Supreme Court by the government to say, look, we want to take action because there is something very serious, a personal allegation being made against him, and we want to take action about it. And I don't think it's going to take too long. It can be done in a day or two.
I think tonight we expect some clarity. We expect some transparency. So I am sure that Yatin Oza, you will agree that if there is a single BJP leader who is found to have had these secret meetings with Ranjit Sinha at his residence, I am sure you will agree with me that Amit Shah should sack that leader. Am I in agreement with you? Do you agree with me that a single BJP leader or NDA minister has visited Ranjit Sinha? Please, sir, don't let the country down. Say tonight that such a leader should be sacked either from the BJP or from the government. Please say that tonight, sir. Will you at least say that,
he will have to,
Mr. Oza?
Arnab, he will have to sack Shahnawaz Hussain and Ram Vilas Paswan.
1 minute.
Both of them will have to be sacked.
Now, if I am asked, let me answer.
Party says Shahnawaz Hussain and Ram Vilas
Not
Paswan.
straight, not
They say
not,
Shahnawaz
not
Hussain and Ram
straight away
Vilas
that-
Paswan met Ranjit Sinha. Is this true, Mr. Oza?
No, you are presuming.
No, I'm
something
presuming
which is
nothing.
not
He's asking a question, I'm asking you.
I am in agreement that if they have met for undue favor, yes. But simple meeting to
What is a
presume and
simple meeting?
assume
Define a simple
that
meeting. This is a beautiful phrase you have raised. What is a simple meeting? What is a simple meeting, Mr.
They are
Reza?
not accused. They are not suspect or accused in any case.
Of course, Paswan is.
Until the time that they are suspect or accused in any case, to jump to a conclusion that simply because they met, that they should be sacked from NDA or BJP.
Mr. Yatin Oza,
will be
Mr.
a
Ram
very
Vilas
wide
Paswan,
guess.
who met the CBI director, is being investigated by the CBI in a recruitment scam. How can you say that there are no allegations? He is under investigation of the CBI. Meeting the CBI director at his residence when he is being investigated by the CBI, doesn't it raise eyebrows?
The CBI director himself is not investigating. Therefore, I am saying that let this.
But he
chain
heads
be
an
proved.
organization which
Then
is
the
What are you
question-
saying?
Then the
So,
question
no, 1 minute.
of
1 minute.
Then
So,
the
no, 1 minute.
question of action would arise.
Mr. Yatin Oza, the CBI director's facetious argument so far has been that I am not doing investigations. I am meeting them. They are all my friends. You are saying I am not investigating. Then at some point of time, the CBI director said I am investigating. Is the investigating officer there when he is having these
No,
meetings?
no.
Why is the CBI director
All
personally
those
doing
other
the
meetings
investigation,
during-
sitting
all
at his
these-
house and
all
not his
these
official
meetings during
residence?
Earlier regime.
Sir, you
all-
know,
all
I
these
just want to be
earlier meetings
convinced
during
tonight
his
of one thing.
Earlier regime.
No, I want to be
like
convinced
2G,
tonight of one thing. I
Colgate,
think
there
no,
he
sir.
was directly supervising.
Sir, I want to be
There he was
convinced of
directly
one thing.
supervising.
Sir, I want to be convinced of one thing.
Yes.
That the
Yes.
fears of the people of this country, that on issues such as this, both the BJP and the Congress party appear to be sliding down a
Arnab.
slippery slope of political and ethical
don't
convenience,
think-
that this is
I-
not
I-
true,
I
because all
don't
I'm
think-
seeing
I totally
tonight is
disagree.
both the
This
Congress and the
government-
BJP justify
Arnab, I
why
totally
these meetings
disagree
happen.
with what
Sir,
you
you think
say.
the people of this country
I
don't
totally
see through
disagree.
this? You don't think people are feeling
Come
let
on,
down
Arnab,
tonight?
I totally disagree.
What do you disagree
I
for,
totally
sir?
disagree with what you say. What we consider, Arnab, I think if the meetings with all these scam accused is a massive indiscretion. It's impropriety. But does this particular government, I think there is certain law and there are certain guidelines prescribed. We cannot violate the guidelines unless Supreme Court itself revises the guidelines.
no, sir,
or gives
what
a
is
ruling.
stopping you-
This
Mr.
government cannot
Narasimhan-
do something illegal.
Mr. Rao, what is stopping the government from asking the Attorney General to present before the Supreme Court that an intervention or an SIT is something that even the government wants? If the government wants to come clean through the Attorney General, they can make this
I
offer
think,
to the Supreme
Navika,
Court.
the
why is the
matter is
government
before the
dilling
Supreme
and dallying?
Court. No. I think these are allegations without any merit.
Sir,
I think the Supreme Court is already
I
hearing
ask
the
you one
case.
more
If the
question, Mr.
Supreme
Narasimha
Court-
Rao.
if the Supreme
Mr. Narasimha
Court
Rao, I
wants
ask
to
you
know
one
the
more
government's
question.
view,
I ask you
the
one more
Supreme
question
Court will
tonight.
ask the
No,
government.
I have no, Mr. Rao.
Supreme Court
You know
will
there
ask
has
the
to be
government.
there has to be some ethics in this country. If I ask you one more question tonight, and I'm just not naming the individuals, but I want a position taken. Sanjay Jha and Narasimha Rao. If tomorrow it is proven that there was a party hosted by a 2G accused, if there is such a party hosted by a 2G accused, and if a BJP leader and a Congress leader are seen to be accepting the hospitality of a 2G accused, just consider a hypothetical situation such as that. Would Mr. Narasimha Rao and Sanjay Jha say both these individuals should be quarantined from politics forever? Would such a logic hold, sir? Would it hold, Mr. Jha? Why are you
It
quiet,
would,
Mr. Rao?
Arnab,
Mr.
would
Jha,
certainly
Mr. Rao,
Arnab,
why are you
let me
quiet?
bite the bullet
I'm
before
saying
Mr.
it
Rao
would be.
does.
I think you'll allow
No,
us
let
to
me
speak
bite the
first.
bullet before
It
Mr.
would
Rao
be
does.
improper.
I will
If
tell you,
somebody
if
is
there's any
accused-
quid pro quo established, action must be taken against the politician concerned from whichever party.
Right.
There's
So
no
if-
doubt
if-
about it. I want to make a second point since you have raised it.
I'll
You see,
hold
the
you to it
problem
if
with the
such a
Bharatiya
situation
Janata
were
Party
to have
and
What about
arisen.
CBI
propriety?
is it is
What about
running
propriety,
with
Mr.
the
Sanjay
hair.
Jha?
It's running with the hare, is hunting with the hounds. I agree with you. I think as a political party, if we feel that there is someone who's caused us a political embarrassment and has done something unethical and immoral, then we will definitely question that individual.
Really? And please tell me, Mr. Sanjay
But I
Jha.
want to make a point, Arnab.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, I question the definition of morality you present.
They have to
The
start with their
BJP
party
runs with the
leadership.
hare, hunts with the hounds. If you remember, the BJP kept castigating the Congress UPA government by when the CBI gives a clean sheet to Amit Shah in the Ishrat Jahan fake encounter case, they started singing hosannas of the CBI. But when the same
not
CBI,
Sanjay,
charge
if you
sheets,
apply the
Gulab Chand
rules,
Kataria,
if you apply
Amit
the same
Jethawala,
yardstick,
then they blame
your
the
leadership will be
CBI.
in
That's
the
a
dock.
problem with the BJP.
Your
The
leadership is
BJP
in the
needs to
dock.
have a principled
Vikas Sinha.
stand. You don't have a principled stand. I think the
I don't
problem
know the
is
principled
you
stand.
use the CBI as a
think the
convenient bureau of investigation.
The Congress trying to teach
I-
principles is a matter of a joke. Your
I
leadership
would like to say to
is
both
in
I
the
want to tell you what
Congress
now, the Congress
in
party
cases
has got
of
nothing to
Sir,
do with
I
the
would like to
BJP.
say to both the Congress and the BJP that the matter is
misappropriation
now in
and
the
cheating.
public domain.
Your leadership
And
has
if
been
you
accused.
believe, so 1 second, Mr. Rao, if you believe that this issue will be shut down, that the diary won't be investigated, that details won't be got into, and this case too, like previous cases, will be buried, you can forget it, sir. This will be investigated. To Vikas Singh, please. Mr. Vikas Singh, now this is positively getting embarrassing. I'm sorry to make you wait, and you and Joginder Singh, but you know, you
It
realize
should be
your client's
investigated.
position as CBI director is becoming increasingly untenable. Increasingly untenable, but more than anything else. Mr. Vikas Singh, should he stay?
Well,
Should he
Arnab,
not,
today
should he not just
on your
step down
channel,
till the Supreme Court
supposing-
comes to a conclusion?
Well, Arnab, today on your channel, if I were to accuse you that you are being paid to fix people, would you stop holding your channel? Would you stop anchoring your program without there being any credible evidence against you? Can I say that just because there is an allegation made by me, because I am a senior advocate, and I say that, Arnab, you are being paid to fix people, will you stop anchoring the
Sir,
program?
you know,
You will
Mr.
not.
Singh,
There
Mr. Singh,
has to
Mr.
be
Singh,
some
I'll tell you. No,
credible
no, no, 1
evidence.
second. One
There has
second.
to
Since
be-
you've
no,
said
Arnab, there
something,
has
no,
to be
no,
some
Mr. Singh.
credible evidence.
Mr. Singh, Mr. Singh, you
there
know,
is a matter which is pending in
I
Supreme
would
Court.
like to just, no, no, Mr. Singh. one minute.
I'm making
no,
an
Mr. Singh,
allegation
since you
against
said
you
something,
that you are
let
being
me say.
paid. Is that enough for you to stop anchoring
No,
your
one
program?
minute, Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh.
Should the nation,
Mr. Singh, if you
should the
believe.
nation expect from you that Arnab has
Singh.
been accused by a very senior lawyer
Mr. Singh,
of being
Mr.
sort of
Singh, you
fixing
know,
up people?
I'll tell you one thing,
So
Mr.
Arnab
Singh.
should be barred from appearing in the
No,
channel only
I
because
understand.
Prashant
Mr.
Bhushan
Singh, I
says
understood
somebody
your
is
question. You
corrupt.
want to repeat it
If
100
Prashant
times? You
Bhushan
think you'll
says
become clearer?
He is doing.
You think you'll
Prashant
become
Bhushan
clearer
is
if you
doing
repeat
bench
yourself
hunting.
100 times, Mr.
He
Singh?
went to one bench.
Mr. Singh, will
He
you be
went
clearer
to-
if
he
you
went
repeat
to
it
one
100
bench,
times,
he
or do you
didn't
want to
get an
hear
order.
something in
Today he
response?
tried it before another bench.
Okay,
Arnab,
so Mr.
you
Singh.
have to have some credible evidence. There has to be
Yeah,
some
so Mr.
credibility
Singh.
in the system.
So, Mr. Singh,
you
you
just
know,
go by allegations. These are
Now, Mr. Singh.
such baseless and such I would say fantastic allegations that if one would start reacting on these allegations, the country can never run. Today,
So,
these
just
kind of
tell me one
allegations
thing.
can be made against
Tell me
anybody,
one thing,
and
Mr.
you
Singh.
could be one of them, Arnab. So please, respect that there has to be some
Mr. Singh.
credibility to
Mr.
some
Singh,
information.
okay,
And the
so
matter is sub
you've said
judice.
what you had,
The
or
court
you
has
want to
asked us
continue?
to file an affidavit. It is going to be
Right.
filed. The court will examine this affidavit.
Right.
Let's not trivialize institutions in this manner, because if you do
Yeah,
this,
so
you are
there are-
actually
so there are a couple
damaging
of-
not Ranjit Sinha. You are damaging the institution,
Mr.
which will be
Singh,
very sad for this country. It's a very
Mr.
premier.
Singh, Mr.
It's a
Singh,
premier institution which
Mr. Singh, Mr.
every
Singh, don't
court
get
has been
emotional.
using this institution
Mr.
for
Singh,
handling.
don't get emotional
No,
on
I'm
this.
not
I'm
getting.
just-
I'm not getting. I'm
Don't-
not
don't-
getting agitated.
okay,
I'm
so-
only, worried
No, no, I'm sure you're
that
not.
the whole process,
Mr.
process
Singh.
by which you are, sort of bringing down the credibility
Mr.
of
Vikas
the
Singh.
institution will do
Mr.
more
Vikas
harm
Singh,
to
don't
the
teach me
nation
about
than good.
institutions.
That's all that I'm
And
saying.
1 second, Mr. Singh, now let me complete. See, 3 or 4 things I need to tell you fair and square. One, I don't need to learn from you how, in your view, Mr. Ranjit Sinha and his continuance as the CBI director will ensure the institutional integrity of the CBI. I think you can put that in the script for a comedy show. Point number 2, don't try and threaten me on television directly,
you are- what
indirectly.
you are
No,
doing is
1
the
second.
PP
Point
line.
number 2, Mr.
What
Singh,
Arnab
do
was
not,
doing
do
is
not,
the
no,
PP
Mr.
line.
Singh, listen to me. Mr. Singh, please listen to me, please. Right? Don't do this. Don't even try. Don't even think about it. don't try and threaten me.
Why? Because
Directly
you
or
say so.
indirectly,
Or because
consciously or
Prashant Bhushan says so.
unconsciously, voluntarily or involuntarily.
Because you say or
Don't
Prashant
try and
Bhushan says so,
threaten me
that's
on
why.
national television. Your threats are water off a duck's back. Many people have tried to threaten me. You want to threaten me on national television? Then you take that away, Mr. Singh. And the third and simple point to you,
not
Mr. Singh, is
threatening
this.
I
No,
am
Mr.
only
Singh, the
saying
simple point
that
to you
this
is,
kind of an
Arey,
allegation-
listen, Mr. Singh, you see, don't trivialize this whole conversation. You see, be serious, Mr. Singh. I thought you're a serious person. If you don't want to answer seriously, it's your choice. Be serious. It is necessary, people say, that he steps down to ensure a fair and impartial probe into the 2G scam, an impartial probe into the coal scam, and numerous other cases being investigated by the CBI.
Arnab, what has he done
So,
in any
Mr.
manner
Singh,
derail? I'm already answering to the Supreme
Mr.
Court. It
Singh,
is listed on
Mr.
Monday.
Singh, you have.
Why are you getting so impatient? Monday,
Mr.
the
Singh,
Supreme
you are
Court
getting
will
very
have the
nervous
answers.
today.
If the answers are not
Mr.
there,
Singh,
the Supreme Court will ask him to recuse.
now,
Why are
Mr.
you so
Singh,
impatient?
chill.
I don't understand.
Calm down, Mr. Singh. Calm down.
No, I'm
Calm
not.
down. Calm down. Don't get excited, Mr. Singh. And I told you this. You try this trick elsewhere of trying to do this, threatening number. It's, as far as I am concerned, I don't even consider these things. Don't try it on me. Try it on some other
you're
journalist
very
on some
likely
other
you're
channel.
not considering
Don't
this
try
as a
it on
threat.
me. Mr.
Because
Singh,
it's a
then my
completely
estimation of you,
allegation.
my respect for you will go down if you try this again. So I am telling you, don't try it. It's a journalist telling you, don't try to threaten me. Now the point is, since these cases, all the cases I spoke about, fall under the agency's purview, there are serious questions being raised, and the Supreme Court has said the averments are very serious, and the CBI director cannot say that even if the averments are serious, he will not file any reply. You should note what the Supreme Court has said. And Ranjit Sinha's continuance, therefore, logical question will add to the perception that the probe has not been fair or impartial. It's a very serious and fundamental question. Joginder Singh, is it true or not that when you were the director of the CBI, I'm sorry for taking so long to come to you, that over your meetings with people accused in the Jain Hawala case, including politicians, the Supreme Court had criticized you? Can you tell us a little bit about that? You were forced at that point of time to tender an apology. Ranjit Sinha finds himself in a...
I'm sorry, you are mixing up. I never met any accused in my office or in my residence. Let it be very clear about it. They didn't say a word about it. Of course, it is something which I can't say on the television.
20th
What
August,
transpired
20th
between
August
me and the
1996,
bench in
Joginder
camera.
Singh. 20th
But
August
what point is
1996.
here? No,
20th August 1996.
I don't tell lies. I
No,
don't tell
20th
lies.
August
I don't twist my
1996,
point of
neither
view.
do I. 20th August 1996, Justice J.S. Verma was
What
the
did he
presiding
say?
judge. He said our orders
Yes,
made...
what did he say?
Yeah, listen to me, sir, don't get impatient. Our orders made
What-
during the
tell
last
me,
hearing of the case on July 26th, he said, about how you should conduct yourself and from whom you should take guidance were quite clear. We take very serious note of your meeting persons who may
Nothing
influence
of
the
this kind has
investigation.
happened. No, I am,
Whether it
I am
happened or not, is this what the
oath-bound
court
not to
said?
reveal. No, I am oath bound to reveal. If you remember that in those days here, this terrible thing used to be in-camera hearing. I don't want to criticize any judge because he is no more. But that is something which I can tell privately what exactly passed. I would not put it on this thing. And secondly, the government cannot touch Director CBI because Supreme Court had very clearly said, I'll exactly quote what they said in this one also. They said that Director can be transferred only in extraordinary circumstances with the approval of the Selection Committee
Are you
comprising
quoting
of
the right
CDC,
part?
Home Secretary and Secretary.
Are you quoting the right part? You're not. You're not quoting the
I
right
am quoting
part.
from the judgment.
I'm quoting from the judgment. You want me
to?
to quote for you, Mr. Joginder Singh? I think I was covering the CBI at
Please
that
do
time.
that.
You were CBI director. I know exactly what the court said.
Please
Sir?
do that. Please do that.
And my
Please
memory
do
is not
that.
worse than yours. The court said, every step you take, the court said, every step you take, you must take with circumspection. Because the court said, ultimately you may be doing the right thing, but it may create a wrong impression on others. I hope there will be no occasion for us to repeat our advice to you. And Aryaman Sundaram, what are we talking about today? It is about the whole business of confabulating. No, 1 second. Aryaman Sundaram, the argument being made is, you can never prove that anything wrong was happening. We may confabulate, we may meet, we may party, we may say we are friends. We may meet accused people at our house. We can go and do what we want, but you cannot question it.
Because I don't want to bring
Aryaman Sundaram.
cast any question.
Aryaman Sundaram.
No more.
Aryaman Sundaram.
I think the question, Arnab, I think the question is a bit wider. The fact of the matter is, as to the veracity or otherwise of what is he is being accused of, is yet to be determined. But if it is determined that people who are actually charge sheeted or accused have actually been calling on him at his residence, then what they discussed or what they did not discuss may not be the only issue. The question is as to why he has entertained them at all in his house would be the issue. And I think the basic point is the veracity as to whether these people have visited him when they were charge sheeted, when they were being investigated into, is the relevant factor. And if in fact he has entertained accused persons, entertained people he is investigating, entertained charge-sheeted persons in his house, whether he was discussing the weather in Delhi or whether he was discussing anything else, I don't think is really relevant.
So my question to Vikas Singh is therefore, Vikas Singh, consider
is a question of perception.
Yeah, consider this. Suppose it's found a corporate lobbyist visits Ranjit Sinha on 29 occasions between May and December 2013. And a preliminary inquiry is ordered against the person in connection with a particular case. The case is ultimately closed, but these meetings do happen. The view of Aryaman Sundaram is it's common sense to question why the meetings happen. The view that Yatin Oza give, and I presume you give, is that unless you prove that something wrong happened during the meetings, which may be more difficult to prove, there is no allegation worth looking at in the first place.
No,
Mr. Vikas Singh,
you can see
one second, let Vikas Singh respond to Aryaman Sundaram, sir. 1 second.
Well, Arnab, it's the individual discretion of what one feels. Aryam Sundaram may have his own views, but Indian law presumes the innocence of an accused till he is proved guilty. And as a supervisory officer, I have told on your channel before also, it is part of the duty of the director to meet people.
Suppose a representative of a corporate group. Suppose a representative of a corporate group visits. No, 1 second. Suppose a representative of the corporate group, which is caught up in the 2G case, that representative visits the CBI director's residence 40 times between May and August 2012, which also coincide with a period when a special CBI court is hearing the 2G case. Are we to say that even then you can't ask any questions on why the meetings happened?
Firstly, this 40-time business has already been disputed by the director, so there is no question for me to comment on that. I can't verify.
So what kind of duty is this?
His home.
What kind of duty does the CBI perform?
Mere visiting, according to me, is of no consequence. Mere visiting by anybody to the CBI director's home, I don't agree there is anything wrong, and that I'm saying in my personal view. It's not that I'm his lawyer, so I'm saying
Aryaman
so.
Sundaram,
Everybody has a different way of conducting himself. Some people are, sort of, they're the loner type. They don't meet people. Some people are, who are gregarious type, who meet people.
At their
he
home.
has the reputation of meeting people right from the beginning of his career. So
all
it's a very individual way of functioning.
Aryaman Sundaram,
as long as there is no wrongdoing.
So this is really the last straw. Vikas Singh says, Ranjit Sinha is a social kind of guy. He likes to meet people.
Mr. Vikas
and he likes to meet people at their house, and he likes to really meet the real accused themselves.
So
he likes to have a cup of coffee with them. He's just an extrovert. He's a social kind of guy. Aryaman Sundaram, yes, please.
Mr. Vikas Singh, you gave an example. Let me give you an example back. If I was working on a story to uncover a scam and my boss, the editor-in-chief, was actually meeting with the same people, I wouldn't trust my boss to actually take the scam to its conclusion.
Or for that matter, if a judge,
what does this do to the morale of all the people in the CBI if the CBI director is meeting with the accused?
And for that matter, 1 second. And for that matter, by your logic,
you are actually fixing stories.
By your logic, Vikas Singh.
Because there is an allegation. That's the point that I made.
Vikas Singh, I'll tell you why you're looking so bad tonight. Vikas Singh, by your logic, 1 second, by your logic, the CBI director should have been having, 1 second, sir, please don't undermine the common sense of people. By your logic, the CBI director, when he's investigating CWG, should not be doing it in the manner that he should. He should actually have detailed 40-50 consultations with Suresh Kalmadi at his house. Or if he's looking at 2G, he should have serious consultations with A. Raja in his house. Maybe 40-50 meetings should be arranged. There should be a social conversation on it, right? Because you can never prove they were doing anything wrong. Mr. Vikas Singh, I'm only using your argument with you. But this is what you said, Mr. Singh. Do you not believe what you said a minute back? But you said this, Mr.
We are all
Singh.
discussing a hypothetical
This is your argument, Mr. Singh.
Because the facts are
This
this
is your argument, Mr. Singh.
by the Supreme Court, and
This is your argument, Mr.
representing
Singh.
him in the Supreme.
But this is your argument, Mr. Singh.
Else, Arnab.
No, but you just said
The facts are
this.
yet to be gone into by the Supreme Court, so I can't
Really?
comment on those facts because that's a matter which is
So
sub judice.
Subodh
We are
Khan
only
Sahai.
discussing
So
hypothetical
Subodh Khan Sahai,
situations,
Mr. Vikas Singh.
and
Mr.
accordingly,
Vikas
I'm
Singh,
saying
Subodh
that if
Khan
there are
Sahai.
allegations against
Subodh
you
Khan Sahai.
for fixing stories,
Subodh Khan
stop
Sahai.
anchoring this program.
Sir,
just
Subodh
because there
Khan
are
Sahai,
allegations
sir, I have
against
already
you.
told you
That's the
this.
point that I'm making.
Sir, I have already
If
told
there
you
are
this. That
baseless allegations against
Mr.
you,
Sir,
if there are
I'll
baseless
tell you.
allegations against you by whoever high or mighty,
Right.
will you stop anchoring the program? That's the point that I'm making.
I'll tell you one thing. First of all, be careful of what you say. I've told you once that, this whole approach of yours is not going to work. Be factual. Subodh Khan Sahai, Mr. Vikas Singh,
But
please
you can
stop.
say anything and he can't say it.
Mr. Joginder Singh, I'm sorry
No,
to have
but
to
point
remind
is
you
here.
today of what
You
Justice
have one
Verma
point
said
of
about
view.
you.
You don't want to listen to others. That is the problem.
Mr.
But you
Joginder-
think people should believe in the gospel truth.
Mr.
It is not
Joginder
so.
Singh.
He's got only 2 months left.
Mr.
Here, you get to
Joginder
the Supreme
Singh,
Court.
Mr. Joginder Singh, you know what? It is people like you who, when you are challenged and questioned, feel that they are on very thin ice. Times have changed since you were CBI director, sir. You don't forget what the CBI said vis-a-vis you. You were director of the CBI.
No.
You don't-
I'm
you don't
sorry,
forget
they
what it
never
said about
you.
you.
are making it up here. No.
Sir, what did
you show me judgment, I accepted.
Sir,
you
did
make
the
half the things here without even basis, and you want it to be
Joginder
taken as gospel truth.
Mr.
Not
Joginder Singh, the
acceptable to
point is
people.
today that you cannot confabulate
I'm
with scam
sorry.
accused.
They
You
never
cannot
said
confabulate
any of
with
these
scam
things here.
accused. So things are changing in India. You cannot
I agree
confabulate
with
with
you.
scam accused.
I agree,
You cannot
agree with you.
confabulate
I
with
agree,
scam
there is
accused,
no-
period.
No,
I don't know why you're getting
there is no
upset.
doubt on that one.
Mr. Joginder Singh, you cannot
If somebody
confabulate
has
with
to
scam
meet-
accused. You don't expect...
Absolutely, you're right. Absolutely.
Mr. Joginder Singh, you cannot
Absolutely.
expect
I
people
don't
in this
deny
country
this
to be
thing.
foolish anymore. There are enough scams which have happened in this
nobody's
country.
foolish.
And after
People
all of
like
this...
you, how can anybody be foolish?
And now we have
Well, Mr. Joginder
But
Singh...
you can't go on making
Mr.
allegations
Joginder Singh,
that
you
others are
understand
wrong
this.
and you are right.
Mr. Joginder Singh and Vikas, you see, understand fundamentally this country has seen many
Arnab,
scams.
because of you, nobody can be fooled in this country now. That's one thing we are all very happy
Mr.
about.
Vikas Singh, I find the patterns of the meetings extremely suspicious. They are under scrutiny, and your logic today is self-defeating. What you're saying, Mr. Vikas Singh, is the CBI directors should meet the Kalmadis and the Rajas to close the investigations themselves.
If he
I
feels
would put that to,
necessary,
and
he
if
should
you
do
ask anybody whether there's any logic in your argument, you can go out and
That's
ask
his
even your best friend,
discretion,
Mr.
whether he
Singh.
wants to meet them or not.
So he
You
should,
are
he should
nobody,
look.
you and I are nobody to question that.
So, Mr. Vikas Singh, tell me one thing. Corporate lobbyist, as per the diary, visits Ranjit Sinha 29 times at a time when the preliminary inquiry is lodged against him in
29
connection with the Radia tapes.
29 business
The inquiry is ultimately closed.
This
1 minute. The
29
inquiry is ultimately
90
closed. Mr. Vikas Singh, my question to you has not completed.
No, there is
The
no
inquiry is
closed.
ultimately closed. Should we
People
not
who have
ask?
been- people
Should
who
we
have
not
been-
ask, Mr. Singh?
People in the
Mr. Singh,
diary
take
who
the
have
question.
visited him
Mr. Singh, don't run
have
away
been
from the
charge
question.
sheeted by Sinha
Mr. Singh,
by
don't
him
run away
by
from the
under the orders
question.
of his signature.
Mr. Singh, don't run away from the question. Should we not ask whether those meetings
I'm not
pertain
running away from the
to,
question.
whether those
People
meetings
who have-
pertain to, and whether you're not even listening to the question, Mr. Singh, whether those meetings pertain to, we should not ask whether those meetings had anything to do with the role of the CBI in closing the preliminary inquiry against the individual.
Nobody has a right to ask what are those meetings meant for. Nobody has a right to ask. That's something which
Mr.
is the
Singh,
absolute
Mr.
discretion
Singh,
of
a
the
corporate
director.
group's
The people who
representatives.
have met him have been charge sheeted by him.
Mr. Singh, I am
during his
asking
tenure.
you. You answer the question straight tonight. I am asking you, a corporate group's representative visits Ranjit Sinha's house on 40 occasions between May 2013 and August 2014
No, 40
allegedly.
something which is
Allow me to
your
complete,
figment of your
please.
imagination.
Allow me to complete. The visits coincide with the period when a special CBI court is hearing the 2G case. It had summoned the promoter of the company. The promoter had moved the Supreme Court, which subsequently, Mr. Singh, for your kind information, stayed the trial proceedings against him. Again, there is more about propriety more than anything else. Are you telling me today, in this country of ours, propriety is dead? Are you saying propriety is dead? Then say so tonight.
No, where,
Is propriety
where is the
dead?
question of if he had been a judge?
Is
I agree with
propriety
you, it
dead,
would have
Mr.
been
Singh?
improper.
Is propriety
No,
dead,
it is
Mr.
not
Singh?
dead, but there is no impropriety as far as his meeting and
Okay, so Mr. Singh,
there is no impropriety.
so Mr. Singh, let me now tell
Yes.
you why your arguments are extremely weak, because I haven't finished with you. You have claimed that Ranjit Sinha has 3 offices, right?
You
And
are
that
not
he's
a
meeting
judge,
people
I'm
in
not
the
to decide
residence
whether
to
my
avoid the
arguments
media
are weak.
glare. Mr. Singh, please, you have said he's meeting people in his residence to avoid the media glare. That's such a weak argument. Do you yourself believe in it? The fact of the matter remains
No, I am
that
not giving that argument on his behalf. That is an argument which I have said that could be one of the reasons which may
Mr.
be
Singh,
in
I'll
his
tell you,
mind.
should I
don't
quote
know.
you? Should I quote you what you said?
I am not commenting
Should I
anything
quote what you
of
said?
what is pending in Supreme
Should
Court,
I quote
because
what
I'll
you
only
said?
answer the Supreme Court.
Should I quote what you
I
said?
have
You
only
said,
answered the
should I
Supreme
quote
Court.
what you
That
said,
is all
Mr.
what
Singh?
I have said as
Mr.
my
Singh, should I quote what you
understanding. It has
said?
never
You
been what
said.
he-
No, Mr. Singh, should I quote what you said? You said that for discretion purposes or prudence purposes, there may be occasions that the
That's
CBI
my
director
view.
might want to meet people
my
in
view.
the...
I said so right from the beginning.
Okay, so
I have
my
said
view,
so
then
answer
hear
that
my
I am
view.
not going to comment
Then
on
hear
this
my
matter
view, Mr.
because it is
Singh.
sub judice.
Then hear my
This
view,
is
Mr.
my
Singh.
view, I have said.
Then hear my view, Mr. Singh. I put your view against mine. I put my view against yours, Mr. Singh. Let the viewers of this show decide whose view is correct. The fact of the matter is there would have been
Absolutely,
much greater
absolutely.
transparency.
Ultimately-
There would have been much greater transparency if the CBI director had met the scam accused at his office than his residence. The fact that he meets them at his residence repeatedly throws
He's got an
questions.
office at his residence with full secretarial
Mr.
staff, by the way, Arnab.
This
Please
is a
understand,
wonderful
he's got
way of
3
running the
offices in
CBI.
Delhi.
Well, I think, you're trying very hard to defend your client. That's your job. But Mr. Singh, don't try too hard. Thank you for joining me on this debate tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.